And another thing, except this time I'm walking. Okay, so last night yesterday I didn't have time. I wanted to watch it, but I didn't. I just wasn't in the right place to watch Donald Trump's Poland speech, and it was amazing. I didn't see it live, so I went to bed last night, and as I sometimes do, I put on the BBC Radio 4 domestic news bulletin. Usually I listen to the one from the 6 p.m. In the UK, which is 8 p.m. here, and I'm listening to this as I go to bed. So in the opening minute and a half, it said that Donald Trump spoke about Islamist terrorism or Islamist extremism. I'm thinking...
Addressing a large crowd in Warsaw, Mr. Trump drew on Poland's example of fighting Nazi and communist oppression. He challenged Europe to defend Western civilization and values against Islamist terrorism, extremism and government bureaucracy.
No, Donald Trump never says Islamist, never. Even when they write it on his teleprompter, he turns around and says, no. Like he did in Saudi Arabia, which is the clip I've got on YouTube. He had written on his teleprompter, because the State Department put it there, Islamist terrorism, and he said Islamic terrorism.
The crisis of Islamic extremism and the Islamicists and Islamic terror of all kinds. We must stop.
So the BBC in the opening, they say that they're quoting Trump and say that he says Islamist. I'm thinking, no, he didn't. So of course, when I wake up in the morning, I watch the whole speech because A, I wanted to, but B, because it's impossible to believe the media. And of course, in the middle of the speech, he says Islamic terrorism.
We are fighting hard against radical Islamic terrorism, and we will prevail.
Clear as day. It's right there in the speech. It's actually there.
Radical Islamic terrorism. Radical Islamic terrorism.
So the BBC taken. Now, if you're going to tell me that there's no difference between Islamist and Islamic, okay, fine, I'll live with that. I'll say Islamic from now on, as I always do. But BBC, you cannot take the words of Donald Trump when he says Islamic terrorism and quote him as saying Islamist.
Against Islamist terrorism.
Radical Islamic terrorism.
Against Islamist terrorism.
He didn't say Islamist. He says Islamic. He chooses his words more carefully than you guys believe. And that really upset me. Probably enough to make another video, but this Periscope will also do.